I'm gonna head back to the old lady, see if she has anything new cooking. And if she doesn't, then I'm just gonna bounce on out to, Oh, we have a level as well, actually. I should go check that out sometime. No, not that one. Yeah. We're drowning. Hopefully she has a quest, because I like quests. Oh, dude. So sketchy, this, just seeing random people just in this place. And there's her chanting shit.
Kalkstein, an alchemist, claims you know about the tower's mage and its sentry.
A powerful sorcerer once lived in the swamp. An apprentice his only companion. All changed when a woman entered his life.
A fairy tale beginning.
But the end differs. For a wicked woman she was. He fulfilled all her wishes and she took advantage of his might.
Who was the woman?
Unimportant.
I'm listening.
Blind love spelled the mage's demise. He called upon forces he could not control and died.
What about the guard?
The mage's lover could tell fortunes, and the mage created a deck of extraordinary tarot cards. He illustrated a future event on each card.
And?
Golems guarded the mage's dwelling. Those spared the ravages of time survive at the cemetery, where they remain motionless.
One of them is the guard?
Yes, the most powerful golem acted as sentry. The tower card depicts how the golem can be revived. In turn, this will open the tower anew. Take this card. I no longer need it. I convey knowledge thrice sanctified.
A bit scary then at the end of a dialogue, like really weird.
I need to discuss the closing. Yeah, by card did... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought she may have meant a Sephora. Alright, so I think the golem has one. Once we destroy him. Now, we've seen the golems before, haven't we, in that little golem graveyard cemetery place. So, of course, one of the missions is going to be to revive that golem. Now, I've got a quest marker up here. Why have I got that? What's it telling me to go to? Ah, the golem cemetery. So that's my active quest right now. Oh, Lord. I still don't feel confident in fighting him. Oh, no way. Just seeing those stark, like, blood-like colors, I was just like, nope. No, man, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Oh, for real? What a dick. All right. Come on, come on. Fuck you. It has such a good range, that thing. Can throw that crap at you from a mile away. Alright. We at least made it to the cemetery. And there's the golem. And we need to give it something to give it life. We'll find out what that is in a second. I think the druid's place should be like right up here. An order scout. Members of the Flaming Rose, the same cult that Siegfried's a part of. Didn't it? You would have either found Scoia'tael or those dudes. Flaming Rose dudes. I was doing a bit of herb picking because we haven't done that in a while actually, so I just want to make sure we don't completely run out of shit.
That just reminds me of the asshole elf.
What?
Anyway.
Yeah. Bet you don't even know what Fenway is, so look down, you silly bitch. We're standing on it. Oh yeah. Alright, that'll do. See, now that white myrtle's moving as well. What the hell? What's up?
Fucking goosebumps.
Goosebumps?
Yeah, I'm really cold.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Oh man. I think I was supposed to talk to these dudes to find out how to I recognize plants used in druid. Oh man, we haven't got this book, and it.
How many ores we got?
Fuck, we got like quite a bit.
Huh. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad, she says.
Well, we need books, and we need the alkyalks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll buy the books and, wait, what's this?
Don't they have info on the golems?
That's what I meant, that's what I was talking to this dude for. I was hoping to get info on how to resurrect the golem.
Yeah. Wait, no.
Or maybe I go to Kolkstein. Yeah, I go to Kolkstein and then
him.
these guys, yeah. Alright, I got it now. That's a fuck ton of money.
Yes.
Bastards. Alright, I think I'll buy this as well, this Marable Forest. Yeah. I'll sell my watermelon. There you go, mate. Alright. Let's read this shit. And that. Yeah,
Do we
increases
have any
maximum
new
drops.
monster lore?
Do we have any new monster lore? Let's check it out. Time to read. Beasts.
Hello.
Oh, Alghouls. Okay, so Alghouls appear in old necropolises and crypts, so they're very much like ghouls. The word ghoul in Alghoul kind of gives you a hint on their appearance. Immune to common poisons and resistant to knockdown attempts, so they're very similar. Sensitive to silver, and the strong style is most efficient against Alghouls. Again, if there's lots, group it up. Tactics. Alghouls try to knock down their victims and eat them alive. Alchemy, cadaverine, white vinegar, and Alghoul marrow. So I don't think you can get white vinegar from ghouls.
Didn't we already read this one?
I don't know, because it had the exclamation mark on it.
Yeah, I think it just updated like alchemy things though.
Oh, it could do. I don't know.
Is there anything else that's in here that we've already read for sure?
I don't think so. Man, we got so much stuff to read.
We read Striga, didn't we?
We haven't read Striga.
No?
No. No, I don't think we've read... I don't know. Fuck it, I'll read it anyway. Alghouls are ghouls which had been devouring corpses for so many years that human flesh becomes irresistible, and they begin to prey on the living. So, where ghouls tend to resort to living in crypts or scavenging battlefields for corpses, Alghouls kind of have been doing that for so long that to kind of satisfy their urges and their cravings for flesh, they end up attacking the living. They are seen in crypts on battlefields, frequently surrounded by ghouls. Simple folk do not notice the differences between these two types of scavengers, unlike witches, who know that the Alghoul is more aggressive in challenging opponents. So basically, does more damage, has more health.
Eats more meat.
An Archspore. Archspores grow in places where particularly cruel crimes have been committed, or on the tombs of the victims of such crimes. So this is going back to our kind of little speculation theory about how is it Odo? Yeah, Odo's brother may have died and how there are Echinops fawns there. So and Archspores and Echinops are very similar, aren't they, in appearance and kind of characteristics. So they're immune to all mind effects because they don't have brains. They feel no pain and cannot be poisoned, blinded, knocked down, or bled to death. But they are susceptible to silver like all monsters, and very susceptible to incineration attempts. So again, the torch. If you play as a very sign strong witcher, I don't. I normally play as a very sword strong witcher, but a lot of people... Actually, no, I don't know if a lot of people play as sign heavy witches.
I think most go with swords.
Yeah, it's
a combination.
Yeah, I think the more you play the game and when you want to branch out, you might discover the kind of potential signs have to offer. But again, like how we're having so much trouble with these Archspores, we only have to be there for like 2 seconds. We're poisoned, our health is fucking going down in the chunks. However, someone who has like a really souped up like Igni ability, they could just fucking melt it as soon as it comes out the ground. But they may suffer it with, like, say, like, groups of ghouls or something, which we don't, because we have really strong sword abilities. Archspores shoot poison fawns, we know that all too well. And the alchemical ingredients you can get for them are Archspore juice and spores. Some crimes are so terrible that they fill people with terror and offend the gods. The criminal's ill will and the cruelty of his deed conceive a curse that brings the Archspore to life. The beast attacks innocent creatures hatefully, trying to take vengeance until justice is done. So we've seen a lot of Archspores in the swamp, so that kind of lets us think that a lot of evil, dirty shit's been going on here. Basilisk. Basilisks choose dark and damp places like caves and abandoned canal branches as their dwellings. I don't think we've come across a basilisk yet. They're immune to most poisons, resistant to stun attempts, but they are sensitive to silver and ornithosor oil. I think we know that, and we've made... have we? I think we've made it. A basilisk's most dangerous weapon is its venom, one of the strongest known toxins, and you can get venom glands from them. Simple people call the basilisk the kin of the Zerrikanian deserts and often mistake it for a cockatrice. It reminds me of how a cockatrice came to be with the whole two homosexual cockerels and then something to do with a frog and...
Yeah, the egg had to get fertilized by a frog or something.
And then didn't the frog eat it? Or something like that? Or it got eaten by something.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was so fucked up. They claim that the beast is filled with such hatred towards all living things that even its breath is venomous and its glance turns the unwary to stone. In fairy tales, the only certain way to kill a basilisk is by holding a mirror in front of its eyes to divert its deadly gaze. Witches reply that it's far better to smash the mirror on the creature's head. Nice. Oh wow, a scimitar, he looks pretty badass. Scimitars are rare. They are found on battlefields and cemeteries just like other necrophages. They are immune to common poisons, resistant to knockdown and stun attempts, but they are sensitive to silver and necrophage oil, just like every other necrophage. Scimitars try to knock down their victims and eat them alive. You can get scimitar jaws, white vinegar, and abomination lymphs. Much has been written about ghouls and graveers, since they are encountered by common people in times of war or in cemeteries. Scimitars are rare, but when they appear in a necropolis, they take it over. All ghouls respect them and must bow to them, so they're kind of like the king of the undead. I guess that might come from simply being a super old ghoul who then goes into an owl ghoul and then maybe a graver and then eventually becomes a scimitar. A devourer. Oh man, you see these things later on. I think it's Act 4. Jesus, they are so bizarre, man. They are so bizarre.
They always scare me when they came running at me.
Devourers are scavengers which live near human settlements, usually in caves and ruins, immune to conventional poisons and resistance to knockdown attempts. But they're, again, just like every other necrophage oil and the strong attack.
They remind me of witches.
Witches?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a witch.
yeah. I thought you said witches and I'm like,
Or like a witch.
Yeah, devourers try to knock down their victims and eat them alive. You can get shadow dust, cadaverine, albus crystals, and devourer teeth. Devourers are often called night witches because they resemble old, ugly women and are famous for their witch-like viciousness. These creatures gorge themselves on human flesh. Although they willingly eat carcasses, above all, they crave flesh that is fresh and warm. Devourers hunt after dark in groups that peasants refer to as Sabbaths. They like to deceive their victims and torture them. There is no truth to the tales of their midnight flights on broomsticks and their gingerbread houses.
Hold on a sec.
What? Yeah. Echinopsae grow in places where crimes have been encountered. So again, Echinops and Archspores alike end up manifesting in places where ill deeds occur. And of course, our first bump in with these creatures was with Odo's farm. Echinopsae are monstrous plants which grow in places where terrible crimes have been committed. The beasts try to take their vengeance on criminals, but they do not spare the lives of innocents who haplessly enter their territory.
Mean bastards.
Gollum! So yeah, we bumped into one of these dudes. Luckily, he's not moving yet, though. A golem is a creature made of stone or wood. Huh, wood. Brought to life by a mage and animated with the use of magic. Its tough body is immune to sword blows and most effects. Well, shit. A golem can be stopped by its maker. Usually the giant is set in motion by a lightning bolt, so a major electric shock might incapacitate or even annihilate it. A golem uses its superhuman strength to knock down, stun, and crush opponents. And the alchemical green you get is a golem's obsidian heart. So much like the cockatrice, feather, or the frightener's eye, or the beast's What did we even get from the beast? Was it the beast's eye? I don't know. They're unique.
Were we able to loot it in time?
Yeah, we did get it in the end.
Wasn't it the heart?
Something like, I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is a unique one-time offer alchemical ingredient, and as such it brews a very like specific one-time use potion, and when that normally gives you like a bronze talent, silver talent, gold talent, something like that. Once an absent-minded mage created a golem, animated it by casting Ulzur's thunder, and ordered his new servant to fetch water before burying himself in his scholarly books. The golem kept carrying water day and night without pause, and ultimately flooded not only the mage's house, but the whole city. As you can see, my young students of the art, improper use of tools and a lack of elementary training may cause a tragedy. Annabelle Ranfind. Lectures of security and hygiene in magic. You have to tell him to stop once you've had enough water, otherwise he'll keep going. A Koshche. A mythical creature born of magic. Only a mighty mage who knows Ulzur's work can summon a Koshche. They're resistant to most effects, but they're susceptible to silver. This relentless killing machine has no need for tactics. And the Koshche heart, again, once a one-time occurrence when you meet them and get their alchemical ingredient. What, in your opinion, is the best way to describe a Koshche? Death. I'd call it death.
Simple.
A Night Wraith. Oh yeah, we're gonna meet these in the same act that we meet those weird witch-like necrophages. Night Wraiths appear on fields and meadows. They can be found after dark when the moon is high, hence the name Night Wraith. They are specters, but at the same time they maintain a strong connection with the natural world. They see the living but cannot understand them, because the dead cannot hear the living. They're immune to blinding, poison, pain, and bleeding. Now that's just harsh, man. They just gotta point out the fact that they're blind, so they cannot be blinded. That's like he's deaf, so sensitive noises won't work. But they are sensitive to silver and spectre oil, because they're ghosts. They are able to grasp the moonlight and blind their enemies with it. You can get death dust, shadow dust, and ectoplasm. Night Wraiths are born of moonlight, wind, and the earth cooling after the heat of the day. They rise above the ground and whirl in a mad dance, which should not be seen by any mortal. If caught peeping, the mortal is blinded by moonlight, then taken into a circle and forced to dance until he expires, at times becoming a Night Wraith himself. That's fucking weird. So they blind you, and then you have to dance until you die. What?
Kinda like Fatal Frame 2.
Yeah. Noon Wraith. Noon Wraiths, so think Night Wraith but in the daylight. Noon Wraiths haunt cultivated fields and meadows. They always appear when the sun is high. They are specters, but at the same time they maintain a strong connection to the natural world. They see the living, but again cannot understand them, because the dead cannot hear the living. So they're immune to the same things, and they're fearless.
Not a Night Wraith, I think.
You'd be a Noon Wraith.
Yeah, 'cause I love the sun.
Yeah, I'd be a Night Wraith. Sensitive to silver and spectre oil. They're able to grasp sun rays and blind their enemies with it. So the exact same kind of concept, but they kind of harness sunlight rather than moonlight. So they're born at high noon out of heat, sadness, and the sweat of plowmen. In the hot air above the fields, they gather to dance madly, creating air vortexes. But the spectres dislike being watched. Those who peep are forced to dance with them. Noon Wraiths stop their dance when the sun goes down. Once the abducted mortal is long dead from fear and exhaustion. That's so weird. A Royal Wyvern. So we've only come across wyverns, but again, there's a step up from them. A Royal Wyvern. Royal Wyverns are larger and more aggressive than their common cousins. They live in the wilderness, often in the mountains, as they like to build their nests on, what? Precipices, there we go. They attack any creature entering their territory. They're resistant to stun.
What the fuck is precipice?
I have no idea. Immune to poison and generally fearless. Sensitive to silver and artificial oil. They dive at their opponents, try to knock them down and poison with venom. They are more clever than common wyverns and thus harder to defeat. But you can get toxic and wing membrane and venom glands. Yum yum. The female Royal Wyvern is smaller but more cunning and venomous than her male counterpart. She can be aggressive towards both males and other females. She is a perfect example of how gender relations among humans have their source in the animal world. This is altogether not surprising. Master Dorgurgurguri against the institution of marriage. That was pretty cool. Relating how aggressive and just intolerable female Royal Wyverns are, and how that's a common link between them and women. A Striga, another common occurrence in terms of behavior to women. Astriga is a woman transformed into a monster by a curse. She is filled with hatred towards all living beings, devouring them gladly. Astriga may tolerate necrophages. She needs a hideout during the day, but choosing a sarcophagus in the forgotten branch of a crypt. They're resistant to steel, sensitive to... It's funny that, because they're technically human with a curse, but due to the curse they're now susceptible to silver instead of steel. Sensitive to silver, Astriga may be freed from her curse by those who survive a night near her sarcophagus. Astriga is a very strong and agile creature, but not as resilient as she might seem. She attacks by surprise and tries to tear opponents to pieces without giving them a chance to fight back. Near her sarcophagus, Astriga is always stronger. So the further you drag her away from her sarcophagus, it's like a source of power, the weaker she becomes. Hence why surviving a night with her without letting her go to her sarcophagus, the curse is lifted. And you also get Astriga heart if you defeat her. So again, this is a once in a lifetime thing as well. Where does it come from? Spells? Magic? I have no idea, sire. The sages research these phenomena. For us witches, it is enough to know that strong will may create them. We also like to know how to fight them. And kill them? Most frequently, yes. That is what we are usually paid for. Few want the spell lifted. People usually just want to be protected. If the monster has killed people, revenge may also be another motive. I wonder who's saying that. A werewolf, dun dun dun! Werewolves are lycanthropes, which means that they are shape changers. Humans transform into werewolves as a result of curses. The creatures lurk near human settlements. Now, I wonder what the male counterpart of Astriga is. Is it a werewolf? Because Astriga curse seems to be exclusive to women.
But then again, this is not exclusive to men. Werewolves. Humans transform.
Yeah, you're right. So I wonder if there is a male counterpart to the Astriga. They are resistant to steel in most effects. Again, they're a human with a curse, so it's kind of funny how they're resistant to steel, but now weak to silver. They attack with fury, but I guess the whole werewolf thing is that they are weak against silver, isn't it? Like the whole silver bullet thing. They attack with fury and like to be on the offensive, confident of their resistance to conventional weapons. You also get some werewolf fur. Baron Wolfstein buried his face in his hands. His heart was throbbing. Suddenly the scent of his wife's blood and the blood of his children intensified. The Baron's body swelled as his muscles grew. His noble attire fell in tatters on the marble floor. My beloved, you are so hairy. You are a werewolf. Bianca went pale. What about our love? In reply she heard a terrifying roar. Danielle Stone, The Curse of Baron Wolfstein, and other love stories. The Wild Hunt. Oh, so this dude is such a bad man. The third and final game in this series is named after him. The Wild Hunt appears in the sky as a harbinger of death, of war, and other misfortunes, including death. Some believe it to be simply a magical phenomenon, and not a horde of spectres. Elven sources refer to it as the Red Riders. Immunity. No information is available about fighting the Wild Hunt. Susceptibility. Also no information. Tactics. Warriors of the Wild Hunt do not have to fight. They inspire such terror that people cower after a mere glimpse. There are known instances of abductions by the Wild Hunt. Alchemy. Vapors of the Hunt. The Wild Hunt is a horde of spectres that roams the sky during storms and is an omen of disaster. So if you see these dudes, it means that shit times are ahead of you. The appearance of the Wild Hunt foreshadows war and woe, much as a comet does. The spectral Wild Hunt sometimes appears in nightmares of the cursed of those touched by destiny, like Geralt. A wraith. So we've come across some of these in the house when we had to go and rid them of the abandoned house in order to get some secret juice, the old wine, which we told the dude to fuck off because he didn't have any money. Wraiths haunt the places where they died or were buried. There are spectres which do not belong in this world. Sometimes they are summoned by magic, but more frequently unfinished business makes them linger in our world. So kind of like drowners in the sense that, you know, I kind of have a feeling that drowners, even though they're kind of born of misdeeds and their life ended in a swamp, it kind of feels like they kind of have unfinished business, you know?
You mean the plants?
No, drowners.
Oh, plants as well, kind of.
Yeah, I kind of feel that a lot of these kind of were
like not being able to
these manifestations that were once people but are now kind of like twisted, mutated magically altered things are a result of unfinished business. Immune to blinding and bleeding attempts. They are fearless and immune to poison, pain, and knockdown attempts. They are sensitive to silver and spectre oil. The suffering experienced by a wraith makes the wounds it inflicts more painful. So we experienced that, didn't we? As soon as we entered that the first time, not knowing the wraiths there, they just casted like pain on us, and all we did was just like fucking writhe and squirm until we died. So we can get death dust and ectoplasm. If you want to get rid of a wraith, you must first find his body. Try searching on unhallowed ground or in the corner of the cemetery where outlaws are buried. When you dig up the corpse, you will discover that it is not rotten and that there is blood on its lips. Pierce the corpse with an aspen stake. Cut off the head and place it between the corpse's legs to make certain that the wraith will never return. Set the corpse on fire. One false step will mean your demise. Huh. We can't just slap the shit out of him with a silver sword. A wyvern, so we've had experience with these. Wyverns live in the wilderness or near human settlements. They are a natural element of an ecosystem. They are prized by druids who tame them. Resistant to stun and poison attempts, but sensitive to silver and ornithosor oil. So like the royal wyvern, they dive at their opponents, try to knock them down and poison them. Wyverns are unlucky to be frequently mistaken for dragons. Seeing a reptile approaching a flock of sheep, peasants panic. They expect it to breathe fire, massacre everyone, and abduct the local virgins. While it is true that wyverns hunt sheep, they neither breathe fire nor lay waste to whole villages, and they are completely indifferent to virgins. Bang in! Alright, so hopefully we can find Yavin around here.